Fulham could be above us tonight. Brighton could go above us. Relegation 6-pointer. Welcome back to Black and White Banter. Today is the Brighton preview, and God, if we didn't have shitty arse for fixtures before, we certainly have shitty arse now. It doesn't get much bigger than this. Brighton sit 1 point above us. Fulham play tonight. If they beat Leeds, we will be in the bottom three before we even play. I've got my Leeds United bedding at the ready to go and chill and watch the game on tonight. So come on, Leeds, and I think I speak for every Newcastle fan when I say that. Come on, Leeds. First and foremost, let's get to Steve Bruce's press conference today. I've lost all patience, as I'm sure most Newcastle fans have, with the man when he does speak to the press. The only thing I look out for when he talks is team news. I just try and block my ears for the rest of it. But for those of you who might not have heard what he said today, he made another ridiculous statement that proved to be totally incorrect. He talked about how we've improved lately, how there is 6 teams in the relegation dogfight now. So his shift in terms of talking about the relegation battle's changed considerably in the last couple of weeks. But the main issue that he came out with, ridiculous statement should I say, that he came out with today, was that the only teams to have beat us in the last 7 or 8 games were Man United and Chelsea. Hang on, Steve. What about that game against Crystal Palace at St James's Park on that Tuesday night? 2nd of February, I think it was. Was that friendly? Just don't speak, Steve. If you're going to come out with a fact about who's beaten who, just don't say anything at all. My God, imagine being Steve Bruce's PR manager for them press conferences on a Friday. The man just comes across worse and worse every single week. And we just have to listen to it. He thinks we've improved. We've played some good stuff the last couple of games and we've sort of turned a corner. Don't know about you guys watching at home right now. If you think that we have and you agree with Steve, then obviously drop us a comment and let me know. There's been a few spells, Steve, where we've played okay. I thought Aston Villa last Friday was absolutely shite. Wolves in the first half was better. Yes, I will admit that. But generally, we haven't turned a corner. I just don't buy it. I know he's got to say these things, maybe it's protecting the players and all this, but that's the ridiculous stuff out of the way from another Steve Bruce comedy performance in front of the cameras and the journalists. The one positive to come out of that interview was to hear that Almiron may be touch and go for a start tomorrow. So that was the positive. That's the only thing I listened to Steve Bruce for. So let's get down to the match. I don't need to tell anyone watching this that this is massively our biggest game of the season. Aston Villa last week was our biggest game of the season. Every single match, if the players haven't got it through their heads yet going into a match, every single game has to be treated like our biggest game of the season, a cup final. We literally are playing in the cup without the Wembley and without the shiny trophy every single week, because that's the only way we're going to stay in the division. Whichever team, in my opinion, will stay up this season is the one that treats every game like a cup final. And I am already shitting a brick for Brighton tomorrow night. Regardless of what Fulham do tonight, yes, we could be in the bottom 3. Well, the only way you get out of it is by making your own luck and winning football matches, and more importantly, scoring goals. So, am I confident tomorrow? We'll get on a match prediction in a little bit, but Brighton, we have an awful record against Brighton home and away. We are still yet to beat them in the Premier League for whatever reason. I don't know. They aren't a good side. I think this season Brighton have probably been unlucky. I think I agree with some of the pundits in that when I've watched them in spells, and obviously I'm not going to claim to watch Brighton Hove Albion week in, week out. I'm not that sad. But when I do watch them, they do seem to play some decent football. They just haven't been able to score goals. I think if you were to take one of the managers out of the two, and it goes without saying, you would take Potter over Bruce. I think he does try and play a certain style of football, but I just don't know whether he has the resources there. Again, I could be wrong, but that's just off my own opinion from watching them play. So I think they are a better footballing side than us, and it doesn't take very much. But similarly to us, they have failed to score goals this season. That's been their downfall. And I think if they'd had a couple of good goal scorers in their team, they'd probably be sitting mid-table, I think it's fair to say. maybe 13th, 14th. So it's two teams who can't score goals. That's why, for me, I think it's got a boring game written all over it again. If Almiron comes back for us, yes, chuck him straight in the team. I'm not going to spend another match preview video by saying Fernandes should start for us in defence. I think I've done that for the past 3 weeks and Bruce hasn't given him a sniff. So I'm not going to bother touching on Fernandes. For me, he plays, but I know for a fact he won't. The back line pretty much picks itself. I think Kraft has come in for a lot of criticism from Newcastle fans, whereas I think in the last couple of weeks, he's actually been a bit more solid. And I think I touched on after the Aston Villa game that I didn't really know what Kraft was. Is he good going forward? Is he a good defender? We still don't know. But I sort of watched the highlights back, and I watched the Aston Villa match back again. Not the full game, but quite a large proportion of it. And I think Kraft, when he's been off the field in recent weeks, we've actually conceded goals. And I'm not saying that that's because he's not playing, because he's that important to us. But I don't think he's as bad as maybe some Newcastle fans make him out to be. Going forward, yes, he's certainly not the best. But I think in the modern game now, a fullback gets judged more on how they are going forward than defensively, because that's just how the modern game is now. If he cannot swing a ball and support the winger and bomb forward at every opportunity, then we criticise a little bit. But I would put Kraft in. Manquillo hasn't played much football. He's coming back from injury. I'm not going to claim to be Manquillo's biggest fan. He had a good spell last season. I think there was one game against Palace last season when he kept Zaha quiet, and I was singing his praises. But generally, just keep Kraft in there. He's been playing for us. Dummett goes without saying. He's been solid as hell for us the last 2 weeks. Keep him in. The balls Dummett was whipping in the box last Friday against Villa. If he can keep that going, we might, if we've got the right people in the box, Joe Linton being the right person, so probably he's not, we could be looking at some goals there, because Dummett's crosses, especially in the first half against Villa, were just crying out for someone big to come in. Midfield, Willock was a lot better on Friday. Keep him in, keep him up. I think Willock's hungry. It's nice to see a hungry midfielder who also has an eye for goal, so keep him in without a doubt. Fraser, he needs to show us more. I've got no doubts Fraser will play tomorrow, but he needs to give us a little bit more. He really, really does. He's not showing us enough quality, and he might be getting back to match fitness. I don't know. Now, the debate that's caused Newcastle fans a debate all week is whether Jacob Murphy should play. For me, I would give him a go. If Almiron's not fit, you've got to assume that if he is fit, you've got to assume Bruce will go with Almiron and Fraser. But if Almiron isn't fit, I think Murphy has to have a go. If you look at his stats from when he came on Friday against Villa, he got an assist for the goal, he hit the crossbar, he was very direct, very like Maximin. You don't often see it in the Premier League anymore, a winger who gets the ball and runs at their fullback. It's dying out. It's a bit like an old-fashioned number 9 forward. It's a dying breed. So for me, I would play Murphy. If Almiron's not fit. If Almiron was fit, maybe you'd go Almiron Murphy. Again, obviously, let me know in the comments whether you want Murphy in the team. Forward line, Gale has to play for me again. I keep singing his praises and saying how he has to start for us. Not on the left-hand side though, Steve. I think that's the problem against Aston Villa. Him and Fraser were crossing over loads. He's a forward, Steve. Play him down the middle. Keep Fraser and the Almirons on the wing. That's where they like to play. And let Gale be on the shoulder of the defender, the last defender, and maybe put Joe Linton in behind him. Because, he's got an aerial presence much more than what Gale does. So, yeah, Gale's got to play. There's a lot of calls for Andy Carroll to start. For me, Carroll is still not worthy of a start. I just think when he has started for us, he's looked a bit lethargic. Gives away a lot of fouls, very, very slow. Yes, he's passionate and we know about his aerial presence, but for me, where are we going to see the best of Andy Carroll is if Steve gives him more time. Brucey needs to bring him on, not in the 84th minute, not for 30 seconds. He needs to come on as a substitute when we need him for half an hour. Give him half an hour, cause some new problems for the defence, a different problem for the centre-backs, and then we'll take things from there. For me, it's got to be Gale. Obviously, Joe Linton's going to play, and that's pretty much going to be the forward line. Predictions. I think this has got a draw written all over it, not a high-scoring one. I said against Aston Villa it would be a score draw, and I actually got that one right. Didn't put any money on it. But Brighton aren't known for scoring goals. We aren't known for scoring goals. Both teams are going to be nervous as hell, let's face it. Saturday night, especially if Fulham win tonight. God, come on, Leeds. If I hadn't already said it, come on, Leeds. So I'm going to go for a score draw. I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope we get 3 points because, my God, do we need wins if we're going to get out of this, and the fixtures do not get any easier. But I think it's safe to say after the international break, Wilson will be back. He might even make the bench tomorrow, so that's a huge boost for us. But I tell you one thing. We need to get behind our players. Yes, we don't like the manager. Yes, we don't like the owner. Yes, the football and some of the football we've had to watch this season has been shit. But if we cannot go down to the Championship for a third time. We need to stay in this division for so many reasons. Ashley, how's he going to sell a club if we're in the Championship to anyone we would actually want to take over us as a football club? Look at our neighbours celebrating the pizza trophy. We do not want that. It's so important to stay up this season. Financially, we want rid of Steve Bruce. I don't see him staying any longer than this year if we do stay up. Fingers crossed. It's so important, so we need to get behind the lads. On the social media, just get behind them, or I'm sure they all use the phones, the younger ones. Not too much negativity. Let's see how the game goes. We'd be singing in our thousands if we could be. I'd be on a bus tomorrow down to the South Coast with a Jaeger bomb in hand. Oh, away days, they were nice, weren't they? But let's just get behind them. And I tell you what, against Aston Villa in that last 5 minutes, we saw some fight. They were chasing down everything, piling the box for that equaliser. And that showed to me there's some players in there who want to stay in this division. There's some resilience. So the Sells, the Haydens, the Shelbys, they've been here before. And they do not want to spend another season in the Championship. They want to stay up. Regardless of what they think of the manager, the players do not want to be relegated. And I saw just a little bit in that last 5 against Villa to know that there's something to cling on to there. There's some belief in the players and some resilience. And I think, do I fancy us tomorrow? Well, like I say, I'm going to go for the draw. But we need to start exactly how we finished the Aston Villa game. We need to start from the very first minute. Get up Brighton's arses. Let them know they're in for a game. Let them know that we want it more, because both teams are going to be nervous as hell. And let's start the game as we mean to go on. And hopefully, the players can surprise us a little bit. Oh, God, just nervous as hell thinking about it. So, as always, like and subscribe to Black and White Banter, please. I don't have many subscribers, but each single one, every time it goes up, it means the world to me. I love doing this. Get me on Facebook and Instagram under Black and White Banter. I'm putting content on there every day. And I'll touch down with you after the Brighton game tomorrow night. I'll probably be a few beers deep. I would advise beers tomorrow. I'll touch down after the match, and hopefully we'll be 3 points better off. I'm not going to hold my breath.